I think this year was really special because our cohort had to endure a pandemic and had to pivot and adjust to how to stay connected with each other in the world. So I think it really asked everybody to look outside the box in terms of what is connection, how to connect, and then what ultimately is leadership if we're all stuck in our little rooms looking at a screen. But I do believe that leadership is more than what we think is in the world and more than what we think it is, and everything to do with how you choose to impact your relationships and impact yourself in the world as well. That's what I've learned from this.
En cierto sentido, lo que me ha ayudado es a ser más mí mismo, a no ocultar las cosas que siento, y sin duda impacta el liderazgo. En vez de mirar para otro lado, decir, bueno, otra vez esto, otra vez la cultura dominante blanca ocupando el espacio y no escuchando a lo que nosotros decimos. Sin duda, ahora mi voz es más fuerte, me dio más fuerza para hablar, para estar más seguro de lo que siento, darme permiso para sentir y para comunicar mis sentimientos. Eso es mucho.
De que muchas veces cuando nosotros hablamos de desarrollo profesional nos enfocamos en lo que es lo profesional, nos enfocamos en los diferentes tipos de liderazgo que hay, pero nunca, al menos yo nunca he estado en un programa a donde hablemos más de por qué tenemos o por qué desarrollamos ese tipo de liderazgo, y viene de tu forma de ser, de cómo creciste, de tu familia, de cómo eras de niño. Entonces este programa nos dio esa oportunidad de abrir a nuestros corazones y de regresar a nuestra niñez para ver realmente dónde empezamos a ser líderes y cómo fue que nuestro liderazgo se fue transformando.
Sí, en este periodo que sí pareciera el fin de todo, me ha enseñado a calmarme, a pensar las cosas, a estar tranquilo, a entender el alrededor, entender todo lo que está pasando solo con la pandemia y con el otro aspecto del racismo que se une. Y son momentos en los que uno de verdad debe pensar en lo que yo puedo hacer personalmente en mi comunidad, y me pongo a pensar, bueno, ¿qué puedo hacer yo con mis capacidades en mi pequeño, digamos, círculo? Y es lo que he hecho, bueno, en mi trabajo con Boss Workers' Rights, y es ayudar a una comunidad de jornaleros que está pasando por muchas dificultades, tanto por la pandemia como por el racismo. Y bueno, ¿qué puedo hacer yo en este pequeño espacio? Y siento que sí, todos tratamos de hacer lo que podemos en nuestro pequeño espacio. Obviamente eso se va a amplificar de una manera positiva.
And then you hear these stories, about, how white supremacy culture impacts, our grandparents, and how all of that affects our genetics and our genes, and that trauma carries on from our grandparents and our great-grandparents through us still. So it's really interesting learning about all of that and kind of trying to, I think through work, being female, being Latina, you try to I try to maybe have some of that armor to protect myself and try to take that off and being vulnerable with people. And it's helpful with my staff, just for me to be real with them. And then just being real with my foster children too. And my husband, so.
I would describe Unidos as leadership through vulnerability. I think to be a good leader, you need to make strong connections with people, and to make strong and genuine connections, you have to be vulnerable. I've gotten a lot of opportunity to practice that with the friends that I've made in Unidos, and I really want to take it with me as I go forward into being a leader in my career.
In my personal life, it was a little bit more rocky, a little bit more challenging, because I was going through the process of fear at so many different levels. But this is where the Unidos piece comes along. It's amazing the teamwork and union and connection and communication that we have built. And even though other leaders like Joaquin were stumbling also, finding their way out or the way through this, he got us all together, and we were able to process not just once but many times what was happening and how this was affecting us and impacting us at the moment. And everybody had a safe space to express their concerns, their fears, their anger, their hopes, or their new dreams, for the lack of a better word. And I think that has had a lot of healing components.
I know that with me, I realized I held on a lot of anger and a lot of emotion, and I still do. I mean, it's a process, but I think that being in that space and being the things that I have learned throughout the cohort and throughout the sessions has really brought to my eyes kind of like where I'm at and the things that I have to change within myself to bring change to the world and what I want to do.
Yo nunca me había sentido tan like under attack or under fire or under the looking glass como en los últimos años en este país. Yo había vivido acá varios años y nunca me había sentido así, como tensa, como hyper aware. Y hay algo muy healing de estar en comunidad con los compañeros que tienen una experiencia similar y hablar de estas cosas entre nosotros, que tenemos una experiencia similar en el contexto cultural. Entender nuestra experiencia en el contexto de una cultura que viene de colonización y que ha sido colonizador también. Tener esas conversaciones entre latinos que quieren estar y tener la conversación es so healing. Es tan powerful.
Hearing other women and other men, but women in particular, especially mothers, I relate to that in the way they talk to their children, the way they prepare their children. Here's who your family is. Here's who this is your lineage. This is who you are. This is the history. Things I thought I needed to wait to talk to my kids about until they were older, about land and the stealing of land. I just hadn't done it yet. And Unidos has given me, through so many different ways, education, comfort, the knowledge of what other people are doing, the ability to do that with my children, to be very frank. Helping them understand that has been, they're young, they don't fully understand, but they do understand that mama is trying to do something to help herself, which by extension will help them, and help her community, and try to be a leader.
Pienso que fue una experiencia que me transformó y que llegó mucho más al ser propio versus, más al corazón, por decirlo así, versus acá. Porque yo soy una persona, mencioné que escogí de profesión ser socióloga, y el sociólogo es mucho acá. Lo de Nancy, aunque había mucho concepto teórico, me llegó mucho más a mi ser, a mi interior, que es mucho más para reflexionar y para ver cómo yo como individuo, no tanto acá, sino de mi ser, de mi alma, cómo entonces yo puedo influir en otras personas reconociendo que yo soy suficiente.
me ha hecho como reflexionar sobre todas mis relaciones interpersonales, no sé si se dice así, con familia, con amigos, y de verdad apreciar más las opiniones, los sentimientos de los demás, y entender que es más importante escuchar a alguien que hablarle a alguien.
First and foremost for me was the opportunity to be around other adult men in the group, and to be in a space where we were vulnerable, whether it was through normal conversation or through our kind of assigned dyad partners. I was able to kind of get over this kind of anxiety in my life about not having any kind of network of men around me.
One of the greatest things that I have experienced is that my narrative has grown. My narrative before was top heavy with my own personal and institutional oppressions. And I was camping on just the same storyline. And Unidos gave me a richer vocabulary of awareness of myself, awareness of my people, awareness of social justice, awareness of diversity and inclusion, awareness of healing, awareness of connection, awareness of authenticity.
Be ready to be changed. If you're not, if you're so closed off to change, you'll have a hard time. But I think just the openness to be changed, to be, I call it transformed, to have some of your thinking shift or your comfort level challenged. That's what I would say, is be ready to be changed. If you're open to it, it's going to be phenomenal.